What's going on, everybody? Just wanted to record a quick video regarding the G2 versus the G3 that just came out. I am not in the sports industry, so I will not be addressing any of the issues regarding how it performs or anything like that. I will leave that for more qualified people to address. I simply want to give a quick overview of the two products alongside each other for anybody that's considering buying the G3 that already has the G2, or somebody that just wants to buy one of them but doesn't know if the G3 is going to be worth it. So in the interest of saving everybody's time, let me go ahead and address the concern that is most prevalent with everybody, which is going to be the noise concern. We will get back into the boxing, everything else later on. So I want to give a warning for headphone users. If you are using headphones, you probably want to turn down the volume. So to use the G2, this is what you can expect. It's pretty loud. Compared to the G3, this is the low setting. So the G3 initially turns on the low setting. There are multiple speeds on it. So the low setting, and then I will switch over to the high setting. As you can tell, there is quite a bit of a difference between the two of them. So if that's all you came for in the video, then you have your answers. All right, so the first thing that struck me when I opened up the packaging was the box that it came in. As you can tell, the boxes are a lot smaller, and I have mixed feelings regarding this. The original G2 came pretty well packaged. Everything had a spot. You have the batteries up here, charger area over here, and all of your accessories here. The G3 tries to be a little bit more compact, which is kind of cool. You have the slot for the batteries right here, and then you have the area for the charger. It doesn't really fit the charger very well. You're gonna have cables hanging out everywhere. Maybe I just don't know how to package it correctly. That is the part that I don't like. The other thing that kind of seems like a little bit of an oversight is this case for all the different parts. There's really no good area for it. So as you're closing the box, everything's gonna fall. You can probably remedy this by putting some Velcro here on the bottom. Maybe try to fix it somewhere over here. I haven't figured out that solution just yet. And like I said, I just got this yesterday. So that is one concern, not a major concern, not a deal breaker by any means. The chargers are going to be another big thing that people have been talking about for a while. So as you can see, you have the charger for the G3 and for the G2. They try to streamline it to be a little bit more compact on the G3, but you have a brick like a laptop. And the thing that I really personally don't like too much about it is you can't really change it one-handed. With the G2, you can take the battery, you can put it in, and you can take it back out pretty easily. With the G3, you can put it in, and I guess you can use it one-handed, but it's a little bit more cumbersome, especially if you're trying to do quick swaps and everything else. So it's not a deal breaker by any means, but just something to be aware of. And also notably gone is the G2 was blinking pretty blatantly that it said Theragun, which is kind of obnoxious. So the G3 does remedy that quite a bit, just a little blinking LED. In terms of charge rate, I can't really compare that because I never really drained the G2 all the way down, so I can't really compare that just yet. Another concern with the G2 was the battery. Regarding pulling it out, people were saying that the tabs were breaking and could have been designed better. With the G3, you have the battery compartment here on the bottom. Pull the lever, battery comes out. So it is pretty neat. I don't think it's going to result in any broken tabs like the G2, so it is worth considering. Another thing that struck me regarding the two different products were the head attachments. So this is the soft one on the G2 and this is the one on the G3. What is notably different on the G3 is the inside of it, I don't know if you can see that, is going to be a harder plastic, and then it's going to be a harder foam on the outside. The harder foam on the outside is reminiscent of maybe a boxing glove or one of the mats at a dancing studio, karate studio, something of that nature. And notably, this extends also over to the main attachment, which is a very similar construction when compared to the original one on the G2, which was just a very, very hard foam that has no give. This one definitely does have give. So I don't know if that's good or not. Again, I am not a practitioner. I can't comment on that one, so I will leave that for more qualified people to address. And that does extend actually over to these two tips. So this is the G2. It's a very, very hard plastic. This one on the G3 does have a little bit of give. So again, it may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I will leave that for more qualified people to address. In terms of attachments, going from one to the other one, this is the G3. It works. It's a little bit more cumbersome to get off. It doesn't really click in quite as easily, but it does work. In terms of speed, I did show it initially in the opening video. So again, headphone users may want to turn it down just a little bit. So this is the low speed. And then I will switch over to the high speed. So I will try to do a comparison real quick between the G2 and the G3 in terms of the speed to address that. So headphone users, again, beware. So G3, sorry, G2. So I will say though that the speed that the low setting on the G3 is actually really nice. Using this attachment here, I know one of the concerns was when you're using it on your neck, on your traps. This one is basically a jackhammer trying to take your head off sometimes. This one is actually pretty well balanced for using in the more delicate areas. I did use this just a little bit last night. And I really do like this softer foam attachment for areas like the neck and so forth. This one was not bad, but this one is definitely a lot more comforting when you're using it in those more sensitive areas. In terms of, again, I'm not going in any particular order, but to give a size reference for the box on the G3, if you were to put it on top of a 2017, 2018, 13-inch MacBook Pro, this would barely overshadow the edges of the product. So it is a lot more of a compact case. The only downside, like I said, is going to be in terms of carrying everything with you in one location. It will suck just a little bit. So let me try to highlight that. And I know you're supposed to usually take the battery out. I'm just doing it for illustration here. So this card here says it's supposed to be designed to hold the charger. But then if you try to put the charger in, again, I'm not trying to be fancy with the cable management or anything, just try to illustrate it. So this barely has any room in there. And then if you try to put this in here, it's just a mess. So however you figure out how to put that in there, put this in here, so it'll all eventually close. But it's not as well thought out, in my opinion, as the G2. The other thing that I want to address, and I do think that this might be more of a valid concern. So I don't know the specs on it, I didn't look on the website, but the G3 does feel notably heavier than the G2. So this one has a pretty good center of gravity. You can rotate it pretty nicely it's very, very maneuverable. The G3, on the other hand, there is a lot of weight coming here. So if you're using it, say, on your legs or somewhere, you're going to feel the weight coming in from the bottom. Once you go to the back, you can hold it this way. So it might offset it. I don't know just yet, but it does feel notably heavier and something worth considering, especially if heavy objects are a concern. I do like the form factor of this one a lot better, the G2, but I like the noise level of the G3. So it's really a toss-up. I think both of them have their place. I don't think the G3 is necessarily superior to the G2 by any means. But this is just a preliminary. Again, as a hobbyist, not as a practitioner, so I will wait for the practitioners to weigh in on the effectiveness of the new product. And I will actually be putting a link to a channel. The gentleman does have very good videos, and he does use the G2 quite a lot, and he is currently waiting to get his G3. So I personally am excited to see what he thinks about the G3. So I will post that link. You can check out his videos when he gets the product. And that's about it. I just want to give a quick view, just if anybody's on the fence, if anybody's considering it, just so they know what to expect. Everyone have a good one, and let me know what you think.